We must especially beware of that small group of selfish men who would clip the wings of the American eagle in order to feather their own nests. We are a nation of many nationalities, many races, many religions bound together by a single unity, the unity of freedom and equality. Whoever seeks to set one nationality against another seeks to degrade all nationalities. Human kindness has never weakened the stamina or softened the fiber of a free people. A nation does not have to be cruel to be tough. The liberty of a democracy is not safe if the people tolerated the growth of private power to a point where it becomes stronger than the democratic state itself. That, in its essence, is fascism. Ownership of government by an individual, by a group, or any controlling private power. Do something. If it works, do more of it. If it doesn't, do something else. Repetition does not transform a lie into a truth. People acting together as a group can accomplish things which no individual acting alone could ever hope to bring about. It is better to swallow words than to have to eat them later. Courage is not the absence of fear, but rather the assessment that something else is more important than fear. The test of our progress is not whether we add more to the abundance of those who have much. It is whether we provide enough for those who have little. In politics, nothing happens by accident. If it happens, you can bet it was planned that way. Let us never forget that government is ourselves, and not an alien power over us. The ultimate rulers of our democracy are not a president and senators and congressmen and government officials, but the voters of this country. The only thing we have to fear is fear itself. True individual freedom cannot exist without economic security and independence. People who are hungry and out of a job are the stuff of which dictatorships are made. Calm seas never made a good sailor. Remember always that all of us, and you and I especially, are descended from immigrants and revolutionists. Never underestimate a man who overestimates himself. It is common sense to take a method and try it. If it fails, admit it frankly and try another. But above all, try something. There are many ways of going forward, but only one way of standing still. Remember, you are just an extra in everyone else's play. I have seen war. I have seen war on land and sea. I have seen blood running from the wounded. I have seen men coughing out their gassed lungs. I have seen the dead in the mud. I have seen cities destroyed. I have seen 200 limping, exhausted men come out of line, the survivors of a regiment of 1,000 that went forward 48 hours before. I have seen children starving. I have seen the agony of mothers and wives. I hate war. Presidents are selected, not elected. Democracy cannot succeed unless those who express their choice are prepared to choose wisely. The real safeguard of democracy, therefore, is education. Men are not prisoners of fate, but only prisoners of their own minds. The only limit to our realization of tomorrow will be our doubts of today. We may not be able to prepare the future for our children, but we can at least prepare our children for the future. The only sure bulwark of continuing liberty is a government strong enough to protect the interests of the people, and a people strong enough and well enough informed to maintain its sovereign control over the government. When you see a rattlesnake poised to strike, you do not wait until he has struck to crush him. The value of love will always be stronger than the value of hate. Any nation or group of nations which employs hatred eventually is torn to pieces by hatred. In our democracy, officers of the government are the servants and never the masters of the people. No democracy can long survive which does not accept as fundamental to its very existence the recognition of the rights of minorities. We know now that government by organized money is just as dangerous as government by an organized mob. If civilization is to survive, we must cultivate the science of human relationships, the ability of all peoples, of all kinds, to live together in the same world at peace. Freedom of the press is essential to the preservation of a democracy, but there is a difference between freedom and license. Editorialists who tell downright lies in order to advance their own agendas do more to discredit the press than all the censors in the world. We are trying to construct a more inclusive society. We are going to make a country in which no one is left out. Go for the moon. If you don't get it, you'll still be heading for a star. Happiness lies not in the mere possession of money. It lies in the joy of achievement, in the thrill of the creative effort. We have always held to the hope, the belief, the conviction that there is a better life, a better world beyond the horizon. To some generations, much is given. Of other generations, much is expected. We may make mistakes, but they must never be mistakes which result from faintness of heart or abandonment of moral principle. In these days of difficulty, we Americans everywhere must and shall choose the path of social justice, the path of faith, the path of hope, and the path of love toward our fellow man. I am neither bitter nor cynical, but I do wish there was less immaturity in political thinking. Freedom of conscience, of education, of speech, of assembly are among the very fundamentals of democracy, and all of them would be nullified should freedom of the press ever be successfully challenged. The truth is found when men are free to pursue it. The nation that destroys its soil destroys itself.